The physical body of man is far more complex than presented in the previous lesson. While the attributes of the body include the senses, it also possesses the ability to feel pain, emotion, will, and desires. Experiments and personal experiences indicate that the body has memory and personality as well. Possessing these qualities doesn't suggest that the soul cannot possess them too. As shown in previous lessons, the Bible indicates that the soul does indeed possess all of these qualities. The biblical evidence that the body and soul can actually be in conflict with one another as personalities with wills and determinations is found in Romans chapter 7, verses 17 through 23. In this passage, the Apostle Paul says, "For that which I do I allow not, for what I would, that do I not, but what I hate, that do I. If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it's good. Now then it's no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. For I know that in me, that is, in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For the will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. For the good that I would I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do. Now if I do that I would not, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. For I delight in the law of God after the inward man. But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin which is in my members." I know that sounds like quite a lengthy and complicated passage, and it's something you need to read for yourself and study it out, because it shows a conflict. Paul describes quite clearly an inward man, that is a spiritual man, conflicting with the outward man, that is the physical body. The degree of complexity of the body can be illustrated somewhat by the different levels of complexities observed in the animal kingdom. There are at least 7 levels of behavioral complexities: taxis, instinct, reflex, learning, problem-solving, abstraction, and morality. Taxis is the simple behavior of orientation seen in insects. For example, roaches flee the light. This is called negative phototaxis. In contrast, moths manifest positive phototaxic behavior because they're attracted to light. Ants are negative geotaxic and always move away from gravity. Other taxis include barotaxis, which refers to pressure, or chemotaxis, which refers to chemicals, or hydrotaxis, and magnetotaxis, and thermotaxis, which refers to temperature. Instinctive behavior is more complex and includes behaviors controlled by the brain, not the spinal. Such behaviors are hardwired rather than learned. Include animal courtship rituals, migration patterns, avian imprinting, and hibernation. In contrast, reflexes are associated with the spinal cord rather than the brain. They can be involuntary or voluntary. That is, they can be learned behaviors. Such reflexes would include the blinking of your eye, sneezing, scratching, withdrawing from pain, etc. Reflex responses can be trained to reduce the response time or resist it altogether. Learning behavior involves more complex brain-centered activity that involves acquiring new knowledge, understanding it, and deciding what to do with that information. As you can recognize, some animals such as worms and insects don't learn. As for problem solving, fewer animals are capable of solving problems or overcoming challenges by some process of reasoning, such as a monkey using a chair to reach a banana hanging from a ceiling. And then man is distinguished from all other animals by his ability to create abstract worlds around him, such as math and science fiction. This behavior is, as well as the others mentioned, are associated with the physical body and can be physically altered or interfered with. However, there is one more level of behavior that's unique to man, and that's morality. It's this quality that can be ascribed to the soul of man. Thus, the levels of behavior observed in animals help to demonstrate the complexity of the body. Such complexity shows us that man's body can indeed manifest a personality that could conflict with the soul. Nonetheless, the body cannot exist without the presence of the soul, as indicated by Rachel's death, described in Genesis chapter 35, verse 18, and by the little boy who was revived when his soul returned to his body, described in 1 Kings chapter 17, 21 through 21. In fact, animals too have a soul that makes their physical body alive. We're told that in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 21, which says, "Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward, and the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth?" The word spirit here is referring to the spiritual or inward part of man and animals. Unlike man, the souls of animals are mortal and do not exist beyond their physical life. Hence the description in this verse that the spirit of animals descend rather than ascend. Man is spiritual, spiritually immortal, meaning that he'll experience a conscious eternity either in heaven or in hell. Also, unlike other animals, man's soul is morally aware, possessing the ability to know right from wrong. Obviously, the body contributes to a great deal of its own qualities to who you are. You are much more than just a soul and much more than just a body. The combination of both the soul and the body must be considered when trying to understand the identity and behavior of people. However, it's important to remember you also have a spirit that is different from the body and soul. You're made of 3 parts according to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 23. So to have the most accurate picture and understanding of man's design, it's important to understand what the spirit of man is.